TWM podcast.
Hello and welcome to TWM Talks, a TWM podcast brought to you by We Love Sport and Wrestle Crate. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Today, you are going to hear when Adam spoke to the Turkish Wolf Soner Dursun. In this interview, one of Futureshock and British wrestling's brightest stars, they talk about him being WWE's first ever Turkish-born wrestler, how he wants to have an intergender match with Lana Austin, the growth of Futureshock itself, and where he hopes to be in 5 years' time. So enough from me. Check this out. This is when Adam spoke to Soner Dursun.
Okay, so start from the beginning. How did you get into this wonderful business that we love?
I mean, I've been watching wrestling since I could remember. Like, literally, if I put on old videos of my family when I was like 3-4 years old, I'll be there watching old wrestling. Because, like, my brother was into it and my cousins were all into it. And then I think, ever since I was like 8 years old, I said to myself I wanted to be a pro wrestler. Like, I always wanted to be. It was like, one of them kid fantasies you always had.
How old are you now?
25.
Right, okay.
And, bloody, I'll say it to myself. I know. But yeah, like, I wanted to do it for so long, and then when I got to 14, 15, I knew somebody from high school who started training in Futureshock, and I didn't really know there were many wrestling schools in Manchester. Yeah. I knew there was some in London, but I thought I'm not going to go all the way to London. So I heard about that. I trained one time and been addicted ever since. Yeah.
So you would have started watching what, like mid-2000s?
No, probably earlier than that. My first ever memory from wrestling was the Royal Rumble 2000. So Cactus Jack versus Triple H.
So I started watching about a month before that.
Yeah, like around that time. Like, I mean, I was watching it way before that even, but that's the first memory of wrestling I have.
That was when it was on Channel 4 for free.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So, as you started training, what was it about it that you loved?
I mean, like, obviously I was a fan of wrestling. So when I trained, obviously I knew a lot of the ins and outs, like, the fact that it's scripted, the fact that we choreographed somewhat, but I just didn't really know fully what it was all about. Like, I only had obviously like a backseat view of it, so I just loved learning about it. Like, obviously when I first started, I thought, they probably choreograph the matches, they do all the, it's like a dance, they do all the stuff beforehand, but then I learned that it's mostly about feeding off the crowd, going off what feels natural to you, just ad-libbing here and there, and it was that sort of stuff that I really...
So who were your first trainers?
Sam Bailey was actually my first ever training session, and he took Sundays back then, and other than him I was really fortunate. So I had him, Dave Rain, Jack Gallagher, and Zach Gibson, who were all training around that time. That's what I mean, exactly. And then occasionally you'd have Crater.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we had so many. There was such a good array of wrestlers coming out at that time, and thankfully they were all in the Futureshock bubble, and I got to learn from each and every one of them.
Who was in your class?
Like, when I first started, there's no one that you'd probably remember, but soon after I started, Henry T. Grod was in my class, a guy called Don Micho. He's not been around in the past few years, but he was a mainstay in Futureshock a while ago. I think who else? To be honest, that might have been it. Honestly, back then there weren't really that many people. Like, literally, classes back then would fill. There'd be like 5 or 6 of us each session. But then I go now, and there's like 10 to 20 people. There's a lot of people.
The new
that's what I mean.
A lot of people. It's not just wrestling they're doing now. They're also training announcers and referees and like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The whole industry in England anyway has gone huge.
Yeah. So you've kind of been a mainstay of Futureshock since it pretty much first started.
Yeah.
Why the decision to stay with Futureshock and be, I guess, the cornerstone of the...
I mean, loyalty is a big thing for me.
Right.
Like, not only loyalty, but Futureshock will always be my home, no matter where I go. If I'm thinking about where I started, if I'm thinking about my home, wrestling terms, then Futureshock my home, and be all and end all. So I'll always be loyal to Futureshock, but I think a big part of it's loyalty.
Right.
Like, Futureshock could be on death's door. There could be 20 people on the show, and I'll still be there because I owe it that. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I see it, and I think, loyalty doesn't exactly get you the best of places in wrestling, but
there are worse places to be than Futureshock.
Exactly. Well, that's another thing I wanted to say. Like, Futureshock, at the end of the day, since I started, it's still been, in my opinion, the best place for talent in the Northwest.
I think it's probably one of the only northern companies that's no UK wide.
Yeah. I think it is.
Yeah. So, was it always going to be wrestling or nothing for you? Or was there anything else do?
I had a lot of different passions, I guess. I delved into music in college. You know what I mean?
What singing?
Singing. I was in a band and stuff, and occasionally now I've liked lyrics and I just mess about with it a little bit. But other than wrestling, there's not too many. I run a family restaurant with my brother. So that's kind of, other than wrestling, that's kind of where all my time goes.
Plug it, which one?
Top Copper Palace on Deansgate.
Yeah, I know which one.
You know which one that is, isn't it? But, so other than wrestling, I've delved into that. But before that, I did PTing, so I was a personal trainer for about 2 years.
Okay.
But because of wrestling, I had to give that up because everyone wanted to train on the weekends. and literally about 2/3 of my clients, I got a good client base, and then 2/3 of them wanted to do weekends. And when I first started, I could do them, no problem. But then once I started getting booked more, you wrestle Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, I just couldn't do them, and I kept having to give my clients away, and it just wasn't worth it after a while. Yeah.
Right. So you, a couple of months ago, had a bit of a big moment. Tell me about that and how all that came about. Was that the first time as well?
For WWE, yeah, it was. It was kind of funny as well because it was the first time I'd done anything for the WWE. Right. And for the past 2-3 years, anytime there's been a tryout or there's been extra talent work, everyone's always asked me, have you gone forward for that? Have you gone forward for that? And I'd always be like, no. And after a while, it started getting a bit disheartening.
How come you always didn't want to do it?
It wasn't that I didn't want to do it, I just never got called up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they called me up for just the extra talent work. And I knew a few other people who was doing that, so I didn't really think anything of it, because really extra talent work, all that really means is, you just get
security guards.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just something small. Maybe if someone gets hurt, you can fill in something, but it's never a part on the show. But I got there, still not knowing anything, and it got to about 1-2 o'clock, and we did our physical, and then Shane Helmsley came up to me, because he's one of the agents now, and basically said we're going to use it. It was kind of a funny story, because after the physical, he came up to me and started talking to me, and as well as his southern accent, as well as everything going on, I didn't really understand what he said at first. So he was talking, and I just kind of went, yeah, sure, because it's WWE, you're not going to say no. So I said, yeah, sure, and he goes, okay, no problem, get your knee pads on and meet me near the ring. I went, okay. And then I was walking, and as I was walking to my locker room to put my knee pads on, I was thinking, I might actually be on the show. And then it just didn't occur to me, and then I got to the ring, and a couple of other extra talent people were telling me, yeah, you're most likely going to be on the show. So I was somewhat freaking out, as well as I didn't really know what was going on. So I got to the ring, and then I went up to Shane Helmsley, and I didn't tell him I didn't know what was going on. But I just kind of said, all right, so what exactly do you want? And then he explained to me I was facing Eric Rowan and all that happened. And I was just really thankful for that opportunity.
I guess that moment as well is a bit historic, because it's the first one of Eric Rowan with the cage. And
it is.
Storyline.
Yeah.
So how did it work with him? Did you meet with him before, or to plan anything?
Eric Rowan?
Yeah.
Hardly.
Really?
Hardly, yeah. We talked a little bit,
right,
but we didn't really talk that much. It wasn't got to the ring, talked to Shane Helmsley and Eric Rowan for a little bit, but we didn't really plan that much.
Okay.
Kind of went with it.
So, I guess before that you must have been pretty nervous. Were you in Gorilla, or did you
You
just...
know what, funnily enough, I wasn't. Weirdly, a lot of people...
Like an out-of-body experience?
Yeah, to be fair, like... I mean... I don't think I got nervous. I think I didn't get nervous because I've been doing this for years, and other than the fact that there's 5,000-6,000 people watching me and it's on TV, I knew this was a 2-minute match. You know, not to sound cocky, but I can do that in my sleep. Do you know what I mean? And I'm with someone who's clearly very good.
Yeah.
So I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to mess it up. So I guess that the nerves didn't really hit me. And again, like, because it all sort of happened so fast, like you said, it was kind of an out-of-body experience. I walked out in the ring and then like looked around, saw all the lights, and just kind of thought, wow, I'm actually on Raw. You know
You actually see the crowd? I mean, I was there.
Yeah.
All of us were there.
I could see some of the crowd.
Right.
I mean, but again, like you said, I didn't really acknowledge them too much.
I think the funny thing in the crowd was once people worked out who you were, because you can't really see they didn't. They did announce you. So it was anyone who did announce you that everyone in the crowd kind of went, oh shit, like everybody knows who you were.
Exactly.
You know, in the UK, and you actually got a good reception.
To be fair, I did. Yeah, like when I came out, there was a few people on like the 5th row.
Yeah.
Who went Soner, and I thought, oh, and I felt a bit bad because it was like I couldn't really do the whole come on everybody, because you know it's not that moment. That was Eric Rowan's moment. I'm just there to be the sacrificial lamb. But like, I felt really bad because I couldn't give it my all. Like, come on everybody, like, or anything like that. But that was awesome. It was good for that as well, because I could just focus on the match. Don't have to worry about everybody else. Just focus on the match and making the WWE people happy.
So what did they say to you afterwards?
They were happy with it. Do you know what I mean? Again, like they've clearly been through it a lot. They've clearly had the squash matches and stuff. And Shane Helmsley came up to me and said, "Good work," and like he was really happy with me. And I didn't really. Eric Rowan was happy with me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really get any criticism, thankfully. But again, like I had a 1.5 minute match. There's only so much I could have messed up if I did. But
So have you heard from them since, or is there going to be any?
No.
Right.
So far, no.
Is it just one of those things when they're in this country you'll
Maybe.
Okay. Have you heard from anyone at NXT UK about anything there?
No. So far, no.
Is that a route you want to go?
I'd like to go. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I'd love to go to the NXT UK route. For you, one big reason being it's WWE is what we all want, and another reason is I know a lot of the guys over there, and I like him. You know what I mean? I like a lot of the guys that are in the back over there, so I wouldn't feel uncomfortable backstage.
Is that kind of the aim now for British wrestlers?
I think so.
You kind of go
UK.
from your local indie to sort of a place like Futureshock or Attack or Progress, and then it is NXT.
I think it goes like do your little independents, and then occasionally you can get a spot at Progress maybe. Yeah. And usually once you go in Progress, that's kind of a telling. Like maybe I think WWE's eyes are a bit on you then.
Right.
Again, I don't know. I just feel like that's the case.
I mean, is that the route you're looking at?
Yeah. Again, like it's not like I'm necessarily chasing it, because for me, like wrestling's all about like I'll go wherever my passion takes me. Like right now, I would like to do WWE UK, NXT UK, but 2 years ago I wanted to go to Japan. 3 years ago I wanted to just go to Japan. Right. You know what I mean? Things change. My passion.
You've done Japan?
I haven't actually, and I would still like to go. Again, if the opportunity comes, I will definitely take it. But I'm just kind of waiting for the opportunities more than anything.
Right. I suppose you've also got other things to fall back.
And that's exactly. Like
so, it's not this or nothing.
It's one of them as well. Like I've got like. I'd love to just dedicate everything to wrestling, and I know if I did, like, I feel like I could be a lot better than I am currently, unfortunately. But with my with the job I'm working right now, it can be very difficult. I'm like, if I'm wrestling 2-3 times out the week, I'm getting no days off. So it's draining. So my goal right now is to make a full-time living off wrestling, because I know the minute I can make a full-time living off wrestling, my wrestling ability is gonna skyrocket. Honestly, like that's how I feel anyway.
So, what's it like travelling the country all the time? I guess, literally 7 days a week between wrestling and business. You know, what's that like for you?
I mean, the traveling is quite draining. I mean, a lot of people ask me like, oh, what's it like, you know, traveling for your work, and do you like going? I'm like, I don't see these cities. Do you know what I mean? I see the petrol stations. Do you know what I mean? I see the services. I don't. We do the match, and if we do stay over the night, I'm not the kind of guy that goes out on like, you know, for a drink or anything. I like to go. I like to finish my match, go back to the hotel room, and just sleep, and then wake up in the morning and leave. I'm that kind of guy. So yeah, well, then occasionally going to a city and just admiring the city. It's everyday job, really. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, how you've been in the industry now for quite a while, despite being quite young. How have you seen it change in that time?
Oh, it's changed a lot. Like, I mean, I think when I first came into it, how long ago was that? I was 15, so that's 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. And it's definitely changed a lot. Back when I started, Futureshock was pulling, if they were lucky, like 80 to 100 people at times. You know what I mean? If they were lucky. Sometimes it was less than that. I've been to Futureshock shows when it was like 12, 13 people. Honestly, like...
What's it like wrestling in front of that many people?
It's hard. Really hard. Like, a lot of people say, like, do you get nervous when you wrestle in front of, like, big crowds? And I always say no. Like, big crowds are easy. Because for one, it's just white noise. You don't hear a single person. You might as well be wrestling in front of a blank canvas, because you just don't hear anything. And as well, you don't see anything. It's easy, you don't have to focus on anything. But when you've got 13 people and you've just taken a bump and you're looking at the bored old woman in the front seat, you know, just thinking, why am I here? You know what I mean? It's hard to keep focused.
It's hard to get passionate about it as well at that point.
Yeah, I mean, with those sort of shows, you can have a bit of fun. You can especially like if you're with a friend that you're wrestling with, you can enjoy yourself a little bit. But other than that, it can be very difficult.
So apart from Progress Futureshock, what other sort of British companies do you enjoy working for?
See who else? NGW. Enjoy working for to be honest, I love all the places I work. I really do. Like GPW, NGW, BWP. What else am I working? Tidal is a lot of fun. I really enjoy working Tidal. Honestly, yeah, Tidals are very. They just. I know whenever I'm wrestling into, because I'm kind of their workhorse heel.
Right.
So I know whenever I go, I'm going to have a good match because they always put me against good people. But also, despite that, it's going to be a difficult match. I know it's going to be so much fun because the crowd is just so, like, even though there's like 80 people in the crowd, they're just so loud and they react to anything. I just love working at Tidal, and Leeds isn't exactly that far away from me. Let's see who else is there. Other than that, I just work for odd promotions. Like, I think those 4 or 5 are like the main ones that I'll be there regularly. But yeah, other than that, I just do occasional.
So are you from Manchester?
Yeah.
Right.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. Now, if you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free autographed item inside your first crate. Now, WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for a free autographed item, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
So let's talk Futureshock. I mean, it has changed a lot over the past 10 years. It's just gone through another change as well of ownership. What's it been like from your point of view over the past year, especially with the new ownership?
Well, thankfully, like the new owner, Sam Bailey, and we've been close for a long time. Right. You know what I mean, like I say, he's the first person that trained me, and just since then, he's helped guide me a lot in terms of like, and he's helped me a lot in terms of my wrestling and just promoting myself. And yeah, like I owe a lot to Sam. So like, as soon as I heard Sam was taking it over, I thought, like, I'm with it. Do you know what I mean? I've not lost my passion towards Futureshock. If anything, I've gained more because he's my boy. My boy's looking after this place. Do you know what I mean? So
is that kind of thing for you? You kind of know. And not you guaranteed to be booked, but you know, you've got that home now.
Yeah. I mean, I never lost that sort of faith with Futureshock for a very long time, because thankfully I've had a good relationship with everybody that's been with Futureshock. I don't know how. No, I'm not very likeable. But yeah, I mean, you know, what was the question again?
Like, what's the past year been like with the new ownership?
Yeah. It honestly, it's been fine. Like, I mean, there's always that struggle switching, you know, owners and promoters and bookers and stuff. But yeah, it's been alright. Like, the first few months were a bit, like I say, you know, because obviously Sam had to get used to everything, and we had to get used to everything. Yeah. So in the first few months, we were all sort of working together. But now, especially when now Sam's got the school and everything, and he's definitely going a good way with the school, and I'm really happy to see where it's going from now on.
Are you getting involved in that side of it as well?
I mean, not necessarily, but I've told Sam if he ever needs me for anything, like any training sessions, and I have done training sessions for them. But if he ever needs me, he knows where I am. You know, even though I'll help him out whenever he needs it.
So the next show, Futureshock show, is Feb 15th.
Yeah.
Who have you got on?
I don't actually know. I don't think I've got anyone.
Okay.
I don't think I've got anyone. I'm going to be there just to watch over the kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the talent pool there is brilliant.
Yeah.
Just talk about some of your favourites who are there. In fact, the women as well have got some.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel bad, like, because I'll miss a lot of people. Honestly, I'll feel bad because I can literally say all of them, because I do like everybody there. Right. Some off the top of my head. I mean, everyone knows how good young guns are. You know, everyone knows how good they are. I'm trying to think of people who haven't had enough praise. Callum Corrie is very good. Holly Barlow, she's great. Like, in terms of women's wrestling, I think she could be one of the best female. Honestly, I think she's gonna have. I think she's gonna be one of the best female wrestlers to come out of Britain. Personally, I do, because I think she's only like 18. Yeah. She's young. I've known her since she was 14, and to see how she's progressed from 14 to, like, I think, where are you going to be at 22? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she's progressed so much, and she's just so good. Let's see what's there. There's Tom Felwell. He's a good up and comer. Again, super young. Like, all these guys coming up just got so much ahead of them, and they're already so much better than I was at their age. So I can't wait to see what they're like when they're my age.
When they start surpassing.
Exactly. Yeah. I've been naming faces. Let me name at least a heel. Let me name one heel. Chase Alexander.
Yeah.
I love Chase.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love that gimmick, and I think he's really good. I think he's got good star quality.
It also helps that Futureshock's got the contacts with bigger names, and the kids are learning off these people as well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Honestly,
and, you know.
I mean, that's how. I think that's one thing that helped me a lot when I first started wrestling in Futureshock. Is we would get people in I would work people like Gibson, Rampage Brown, you know, Tyson T-Bone. I would work these great people when I was like 17, 18. So I was learning so much at that time, and like I watch them matches back, and I think, bloody hell, like how, like, mostly like because I weren't that good back then. Back then I thought it was amazing, and maybe I was good for my age, but I look at them matches and I think, oh, nah, I weren't any good. But I remember they would praise me, and then they'd give me these sort of criticisms, and I can remember each one of their criticisms still, because they stuck with me. And I think moments like that in wrestling is what make you a better wrestler. Like, I think criticism definitely makes you a better wrestler. Having a bad match will make you a better wrestler than having a good match ever will.
Is that one of the biggest things you've learned over the years?
Like what? Like criticism?
Yeah, learning from the criticism.
Yeah, definitely. Like just learning from bad matches. Like I tell loads of people who, like a lot of trainees or people that have just started getting on shows. I tell them all the time, like, if you have a bad match, don't worry about it, because they get really upset. Yeah. After they've had a bad match, they get really upset. And I say, if you've had a bad match, like, don't worry about it, because I learned more from my bad matches than I ever learned from my good matches. You have a good match, you think, oh, that was a good match. You're happy about it. You're not overthinking, like, I should have done this. But if you have a bad match, it'll keep you up at night, and it's not exactly healthy. You're still going to be upset, and it's still like disheartening. But if you've got a strong enough will to the point where a bad match won't make you quit, then it's only going to do you better. It's going to keep you up at night, but it's only going to keep you up at night because you're thinking, oh, how can I make it better in the next match?
So what's your favourite match that you've had so far? Actually,
I'm really sorry to interrupt. It's quite rude, but I can't see anybody hanging about who clears tables. If they come, can you tell them I'm not finished?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Thank you. So let's say best match of Futureshock and best match.
In general, I mean, a lot of my best matches were in Futureshock. I'd say I've been really fortunate with a lot of with the pedigree of wrestlers I've wrestled. In Futureshock, I mean, it'd be hard not to say Pac. You know what I mean? It'd be really hard not to say Pac. We had a really good match. One that does stick to mind is probably Morgan Webster. I had a really good match with Morgan Webster, and so if I had my top three, I'd probably put Morgan Webster up there, Pac, and my match I had last year with CJ Banks. Now, the match I had last year with CJ Banks didn't really get that much. I mean, it got praise, but a lot of people didn't talk about it the same way they talked about, let's say, my Travis Banks match or my Pac match or anything, and it upset me because I thought that was an amazing match. Like, I love CJ anyway. Like,
is that on the same card as Jack Gallagher?
No, I think it was like the one before. Might have been the one before. Me and him just had a great match because, like, CJ, in my opinion, is one of the best wrestlers in the UK, definitely, and just his ability to tell stories, and that's one thing I always focus on, is telling the story in the ring, and we're both on the same page in terms of what we want in a match. It's very hard in wrestling because a lot of times when you're planning with people, you'd give you 2 cents, and then, like 9 times out of 10 they'd go, I like it, but let me just add this to it, and they change it to the point where it's not even your spot anymore, and they want to add their stuff and all this and that. And with me and CJ, it's like, we knew what we did, and literally I'd say, oh, you want to put this in there? And he'd be like, yeah, but let's add this to it. And I'll be like, yeah, let's add this to it. And then we just flowed when it came to planning. And literally, like, when we planned it, we literally only planned it for like 10 minutes. It only took us like 5-10 minutes to plan a 25-minute match. Do you know what I mean? Literally, because everything, we were just talking, and then we planned it. We're like, we're done. All right, see you out there.
Just go out there.
Because I mean, CJ loves to ad lib as well. Like, he loves to come stuff on the spot, and I do as well. So we knew most of what we wanted to do was just going to be on the fly. But yeah, I'd say probably those three. In terms of outside of Futureshock, I'd have to get back to you on that, honestly.
Is that because there's been so many?
Honestly, yeah, probably. I mean, I had a few last year. If you asked me, like, what's my favourite one of last year, I've been doing it for 7 years, like doing shows for 7 years. It's hard to remember.
What's your favourite one of last year then?
Last year, outside of Futureshock, was probably me versus Joey Hayes in a Turkish strap match.
Joey Hayes has been around for a long time.
Yeah, but that's him. He's another one that deserves more credit than he gets, definitely.
I mean, how did a Turkish strap match come along? And what makes it different to a normal strap match?
I'm Turkish.
Fair enough.
No, like, I mean, I'm in GPW. Like, I'm a big heel in GPW, and Joey was their face, and I can't remember how it came about. I mean, GPW love their gimmick matches, and they saw what I was doing. I started, like, going more towards my Turkish roots, my gimmick, and they loved that. And, I started coming out with my chai cup and all this and that, and the GPW love gimmicks and stuff like that. So they were like, "Well, we're going to make something of this." And then I think they had the idea of the strap match, and I thought, let's just call it a Turkish strap match. And I was like, okay, because it's like I'm the one doing it. It's like it's my match sort of thing. So we tried to make it as if it was my match.
Okay. So with the Turkish roots, does that make you WWE's first?
I think so.
Turkish wrestler.
I think
that's
so.
something you're really proud of.
Yeah, I am. And the fans of Turkey have been so supportive.
Do you have a big fan base over there?
Well, now I do. After the Raw debut, I got like an extra 1,000, 2,000 followers because like they're just a bunch of. I just hear all these Turkish names pop up on my followers: Elke, Mehmet, and you know, who's new. I'm like, well, Jesus. I'm like, are these family? What's going on? But yeah, like I've had a huge Turkish following, and yeah, I'm really thankful for that. Is
there a big scene out there?
Like, I mean, I know there's a big Turkish following of wrestling. Like, I know Turks love wrestling. Like, I've always known it. Turkish people just love wrestling, but I don't think there's not many promotions there, and two, the WWE never really visit there. I don't know if it's to do with politics or, I mean, it could be, but I'm not too sure.
Visit Saudi Arabia.
And yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. Yeah. So I don't think it's that, but you know, there's an untapped. Like for the WWE, there's an untapped market there, and I'm kind of thankful to be like one of the few Turkish wrestlers out there, because if they ever want to tap into that market, they know exactly where I am.
If they did, it was only going to be them.
Exactly.
I don't know any others.
I don't know any others. Yeah. Neither do I. You know what I mean?
It's like the Mansour guy. There's no other people from Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
So, first of all, what do you prefer playing, heel or face, and why?
I mean, it changes throughout the month, but yeah, honestly, it depends. Like,
so you're a bit like the Big Show.
Probably heel. I think I enjoy heel. It's just more. It's no, I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier. If anything, it's harder. But I like to be able to control the match, like control it, not necessarily dictate the pace, but I like to. If anything messes up, I like to be able to take control and sort out. And you can only really truly do that as a heel, because heels are always in power over the face. The face, you know what I mean? The face comes back towards the end. That's how normal match structure works. But no, I think heels, and as well, you're just a lot more free. Like, you can say more to the crowd. You can fight dirtily, and no one would really say anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially in promos as well. Promos, it's so much easier being a heel than it is a face, because as a face, like, you feel very limited, or at least I do. I feel very, very limited, because I'm not naturally the most positive person in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like,
in what way?
Like, I don't know, like, I think as a face, like if you're doing a promo, for example, you have to be all like, yeah, come on, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I suppose it's harder to fake being excited than, just walking in and going.
I think as well, just normal, like, as a person, I'm quite a cynical person anyway. Like, I've just always been quite a cynical person. So I think when it comes to doing promos, just naturally, I'm able to bring that venom a bit easier. And like, I think that's just it. But in terms of wrestling itself, I think I'm probably better as a face. Just because, like, my wrestling style demands it a bit more, because, like, I've got all these high spots and all these big moves, and I can't pull off the Spanish fly as a heel. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all these, but I do look. But I'm trying to direct my wrestling towards just being able to wrestle any style of match now. Like, back when I first started, I wanted to just be a high flyer, and that's all I cared about. I wanted to be the modern day AJ Styles, and that's all I really cared about. Whereas, like, now, because I've wrestled so much, I realise that style doesn't work everywhere, especially when you're working someone you've not really worked before, or who isn't that experienced.
Yeah, but you don't have that trust with.
Or you don't have that trust with. Yeah, you just can't work that match all the time. And as well, like, I'm thinking longevity. Like, I see a lot of high-flying wrestlers that are in their late 20s, and their ankles are jagged, and then they're constantly stretching and all that. And I think that's just velocity. That's just from the amount of velocity you've been putting yourself through for all these years. I don't necessarily want that. not only that, but I think as I go older as well, like I said, I prefer storytelling over high spots now. When I first started, all I cared about was high flying. You know, all I cared about was the cool, flippy spots. Whereas as I started wrestling more, I've begun to appreciate storytelling a lot more. Like, my favourite parts in a wrestling match are the moments. Do you know what I mean? Like the big moments that stick with the fans. Example, when Bret Hart had Stone Cold in the sharpshooter and the blood dripping from his face. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're moments that you aren't ever going to forget. That's what I try and wrestle towards. Like, when I'm wrestling a match, I think, where are the moments?
So, last two questions. Top 3 people you want to face in 2020?
I mean, I faced him a few months ago, but we didn't get to have the match we wanted to have. But Crater, I would love to face Crater. I think me and him would just have a really good match. I think, honestly. Rampage Brown.
He's a workhorse now.
Oh, mate. Rampage is one of, if not the best wrestler in British wrestling, honestly.
I went to the WS tapings 2 years ago. He was the standout.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He is. He's just brilliant. And he's a beast. He's like an ox. I remember I did one spot with him where he was, doing the big fight off between two big wrestlers, two big powerhouses. I think it might have been him and T-Bone. And like the wrestlers were all there trying to hold him back. I was trying to hold him back and I could not. He was just an ox. And again, he was selling it. He wasn't like legitimately trying to push me away. He's just a bull.
Well, they put him with Ashton Smith. They do look like father and son. Like, the whole crowd was shouting, like who's your dad or something. It's hilarious how much they look alike.
I think it was so bad. Great Rampage. I mean, I'd like to wrestle a female wrestler as well because I've never had that before. I think probably Tonga. Me and Lana would be a good match actually. Yeah. Me and Lana. Yeah. Tonga would be a good match. Yeah. Me and Tonga would be fun. I like Tonga. She's the little girl I didn't mention in terms of who's a standout. She's really good as well. Like,
you said CJ Banks. I feel like you and Lizzie. Yeah. Evo, is she now?
Yeah.
Styles Evo. Yeah, that would be good.
That would be a good match.
She's literally just the female version of CJ.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah, I love them too. So they're great people. But I'd love to have either a mixed tag match with, like, say, like Lizzie and CJ versus me and Lana or something, or like just a match between me and Lana or me and Tonga or something. That would be a lot of fun. Just because I've never had a match with a female wrestler. Right. So like, I want to try it out. I reckon I could have a lot of fun with it, especially if I'm a heel.
Yeah, you and Lana as a heel tag team would be very good.
That would be a lot of fun, actually.
So, last question: where do you see yourself in, say, 5 years?
I mean, I don't have like the highest. I never really expect anything. But if I was to expect anything, I'd expect to be making a very successful living off wrestling. Hopefully. I'd either be in Japan wrestling and coming back and forth, or I'd be wrestling for the WWE. Ideally, I'd like to wrestle for the WWE by the time I'm 30.
Just NXT UK or main?
Any, honestly. Like, I mean, wherever they want me, but everyone wants to get on that main roster. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's just for a year, 2 years, just to be on that main roster. I can say I've done it then. Do you know what I mean? It's a goal. Well, whatever any wrestler wants to tell you, like, that's the goal.
Not AEW?
I'd like to go AEW. Actually, you know what? Like, I've been quite bad because I've been neglecting watching wrestling like the past couple of months because of how busy everything's been.
You're not the only one.
Honestly,
much of it. So
that's it. Honestly, like, I try and watch WWE UK stuff. Like, I try and watch that. I watch the Royal Rumble. I still watch pay-per-views, and occasionally I'll catch AEW. I'd like to go AEW actually. Yeah, just because, like, I think with it being, is it Saudi Arabia? Is it Saudi Arabian? I know it's Saudi Arabian company,
Saudi is.
Are they like? Do they do the shows in Saudi Arabia?
Which?
The AEW.
No. AEW as in All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
No, it's in America.
It's in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was bought by Saudi Arabian.
No, Tony Khan.
Was it?
Really? He owns Fulham.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got mine. I'm getting everything completely twisted. But yeah, I'd love to work for them. Honestly.
Cool.
Like, it's not like I'm like begging for it.
Yeah.
You know,
If it happens,
because wrestling promotions, you don't know how long they're going to last.
True.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. But from what they're doing really well, and one I really hope they do keep doing well, because I mean, there's nothing better than healthy competition in wrestling, especially for the WWE. They kind of need it. So like, I'd love to help towards that competition if needs be.
So last thing, do you want to give out your social media stuff?
Yeah, so on Twitter I am Son Dursun, and on Instagram I'm also Son Dursun. Facebook is personal, I don't really have a Facebook account. And for anyone who's wondering, like, yeah, I don't really update my social media too much. I apologise for if anyone really wants to keep up with me, but yeah, unfortunately I just have other commitments, and by the time I'm finished with those commitments I completely forget about social media. Or it's like 12, 1 o'clock and everyone's gone to sleep and there's no point in updating.
It's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's usually what happens to me.
And if anyone listening wants to meet Soner, he'll be hanging around at Futureshock at some point.
That's the one.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A massive thank you to Soner Dursun for sitting down with Adam. If you want to keep across all the things that Soner is doing, you can check him out at Son Dursun, SONDURSUN on Twitter. And if you want to follow our own Adam Cailler, he's at A Cailler, ACAILLER, for those that want help with the spelling. TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, a fantastic app that allow you to know where the latest WWE pay-per-views are being shown. Up to 400 sports bars and pubs in the UK are under the We Love Sport banner, so you can check them out and find out not only where WWE pay-per-views are being shown, but also American football, MMA, boxing, you name it, it's all there. And also you can book front row seats so you don't miss a second of the action. Check them out. The We Love Sport app is available on the Apple and Google Play Store, and you can also go to welovesport.co or check them out on all the social media platforms at We Love Sport UK. We are also in association with WrestleCrate, wrestlecrate.co.uk. You know what they are. They are the market leader for all things wrestling and crate related. A monthly box full of wrestling goodies which you can get, and you can get a little bit extra. If you use the code TWM Wrestling in the checkout, you will get a free autographed item just for being a fan of TWM. That's TWM Wrestling. Use that code at wrestlecrate.co.uk. Please leave a rating, review, subscribe on the podcast platform of choice. We are available on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, and YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, give us a thumb up, smash that like button if you don't mind, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when our latest podcasts are available in a video format. Thank you very much for listening. We are at TWM Wrestle. This has been TWM Talks, and we hope you hear from us again soon.